Struggling with a slow, crashing, or unresponsive Windows PC? What if I told you the solution could be just one command away? In this video, we dive into powerful Windows commands like SFC, DISM, and CHKDSK that can repair damaged system files, fix your hard drive, and bring your PC back to life. Whether you're dealing with constant crashes or a sluggish system, these tools can save you hours of frustration. Ready to transform your Windows experience? Watch now and learn how to take control of your PC like a certified IT pro. Here we are in this second part, where we will continue to talk about the main commands that are used on Windows, SFC, and we start with the SFC, System File Checker command, which is a tool for checking system files. But in addition, it can even repair files that are missing or damaged. If your Windows doesn't work very well anymore and it crashes non-stop, then this tool could solve all your problems to get back to a stable Windows. Command prompt in administrator mode, then you should know that this command can only be used if you open the command prompt in administrator mode. When you run a Windows search for the word CMD, you can either open it simply or launch the command prompt in administrator mode. If the command prompt is not open with admin rights and you run the SFC command, then you will get this type of message. In fact, in this case, we are in user mode, and we can see it because we use the user formip to run the commands. If we open the command prompt in administrator mode, we will have this type of acronym, Start a Scan. Now that we are in administrator mode, we will be able to run a full scan with the command SFC/scano. As you can see, the scan made it possible to find errors and repair them directly. Then you should know that this tool uses an image of your Windows to repair system files that would be damaged. And this image is stored directly on your PC. The problem is that if this Windows image is itself damaged, then the SFC tool will not be able to repair them, and Windows will therefore remain unstable. Luckily, there's an alternative, and that's just the next order we're going to see. DISM. The DISM, Deployment Imaging and Servicing Management command, is a tool that allows you to prepare, modify, and repair system images. That is, it will check if the component magazine is damaged. Basically, it's the tool that allows you to repair a Windows image so that the SFC tool can repair the system in production using this image. For example, if you have this type of error after running the command SFC/scano, then it would be interesting to use the DISM tool, which can only be launched in administrator mode. Analyze the image to run a full scan of the Windows image. To see if it's damaged, we'll use a whole series of options with the command. The full command is DISM/online/cleanup image/restore health. The /online allows you to target the operating system that is running. That is to say, it will check the image of the machine system where the command is launched. The /cleanup image is very important because it is the option that will allow you to clean up and repair damaged files. And the /restore health will allow you to search the component store for problems and then automatically start a repair operation. After running this command, normally your Windows image is fully repaired. And this is where you can run the SFC/scano command again, which this time should succeed in replacing the files on your erroneous system using the Windows image that has just been repaired. Let's move on to another command, which is the check disk command, abbreviated to CHKDSK. This tool allows you to check your entire hard drive. If your PC is slow, not very responsive, and that it takes several seconds before opening a simple notepad, well, it's time to check the health of your hard drive using the check disk utility. And for that, you have two ways to do it. Either on the command line or directly on the properties of your disk. Verification by the menus. To launch this tool without going through the command prompt, you need to right-click on the disk to be scanned and select Property. Then, all you have to do is click on Check to start the error search. At the end of the analysis, you will have a small pop-up that will be displayed to give you the result of this check. Command line verification. We will now see how to launch this analysis by the command prompt. To do this, simply open the command prompt in administrator mode and execute the command CHKDSK. As you can see, the tool warns us that the /F parameter has not been activated. This option automatically corrects disk errors, which can be very interesting. The ideal would be to couple it with the /R parameter, which will also be able to locate the bad sectors and, above all, recover the data that would still be readable to be able to repair them. For this full scan, with a better chance of repairing the data, the command is CHKDSK/F/RC. So, since this is a very advanced scan, and it will have to check system files that are in use, the tool suggests that you instead launch this scan with the repair option for the next Windows restart. So you have to answer yes with a capital Y. And the next time Windows is restarted, the system will run this check with an automatic repair of damaged files before booting the operating system. Diskpart. Now, let's see another command, just as interesting, which is the Diskpart tool. This utility allows you to manipulate disks and partitions. That is to say, it is possible to create, relax, and even reduce partitions. In fact, the Diskpart tool is simply the command line version of disk management on Windows. To enter this configuration tool on the command line, simply run the Diskpart command in a command prompt window, still in administrator mode. As you can see, the acronym has changed, which means that we are in the configuration mode of disks and partitions. It is from there that we can enter a whole bunch of dedicated commands for this utility. For example, a simple question mark lists everything you can do with Diskpart. Partition a disk, clone a VM. So, before we continue, if you've made it this far in training, you need to have a virtual machine with a Windows operating system. As we are dealing with quite sensitive things, it would be interesting to clone your VM. That way, if you break everything, well, you can always delete the VM you cloned and start again with the VM that works perfectly. This would save you, even if it's quite fast, from having to reinstall Windows in VirtualBox. To do this, nothing could be simpler. All you have to do is right-click on the VM you want to duplicate and click on Clone. Then you add a little name to it and go for a complete cloning. You will see that a little sheep will take care of duplicating your VM. It just goes to show that it's not rocket science. Once that's done, you should end up with 2 VMs. That way, you can play with the Diskpart utility. And if you break everything, well, you can always quickly restore the original VM. Now that you're well protected, let's have a little fun with your virtual machine's partitions. So, don't make a mistake. That is to say, be very careful not to open the command prompt of your PC. On our test machine, as you know, we have a 50 gigabytes main hard drive, which is also the main partition of the PC, which is to say that this is where Windows launches. Well, we're going to recover 5 gigabytes of this space to create one new hard drive that will be used to save this data. So, to start, we will have to recover 5 gigabytes of the principal partition. The list disk command allows you to list the hard disks. Here, we only have one disk. The list volume command lists all the volumes on the disk. We have 3 partitions and 1 CD-ROM drive. We want to steal 5 gigabytes from volume 2. Well, we'll do a select volume 2 to select it. Now, if you relaunch the list volume command, you notice a little star next to volume 2. It confirms that we are working on this volume. The shrink query max command allows you to know how much data you can recover from your volume. 2. We can see that we can recover a maximum of 24 gigabytes, so we are wide, since we want to take only 5 from it. To steal 5 gigabytes from him, we're going to give him a shrink desired 5,000. Diskpart informs us that it has indeed reduced the size of the volume in question by 5,000 megabytes. If we do a list volume, we can see that volume 2 has lost a few gigabytes. Create an extended partition. Now we have about 5 gigabytes, which is wandering somewhere on our hard drive. We're going to have to create an extended partition to group them together. To do this, you will have to go up a level to position yourself on disk 0 with the command select disk 0. After that, we create an extended partition with a size of 5,000 megabytes with the command create partition extended size 5,000. Now, if we make a list partition, we can clearly see that the 5 gigabytes partition exists. Create a logical partition. So, remember that an extended partition cannot exist without a logical partition, and it's the same in the other direction. So, we're going to create a 5 gigabytes logical partition with the command create partition logical size 5,000. Diskpart informs us that it has successfully created this logical partition. If we recall our list volume command, we can see that the 5 gigabytes volume does exist. So as you can see, we are not in a format to store data. So we're going to have to format our new volume. Format a volume. To do this, we will run the command format fs ers ntfs because we want to have ntfs like the other volumes. Label data to give it a little name, and we add the quick option for a quick format. Now if we recall the list volume command, we can see that we are indeed in NTFS, and that volume 4 is called data. So why do you think, if you go to the peripherals and drives, you still can't see your hard drive? Well, that's because the volume can never go up until you assign it a letter. Assign a letter to a volume. We will therefore assign it the letter E, since C and D are already taken, with the command assign letter. And immediately after the command is executed, you can see the player go up.